What's up? I officially noticed cat hair on my microphone. It has reached that point. I officially noticed cat hair on my microphone. What are you gonna do? What's up, Sandra? What's up, Anna? What's up, Karen? Good to see everybody. Happy Thursday. And this is our Friday here on Get Your News On with Ron, because we don't do a Friday episode. What's up, Andrew? What's up, Farhead? Good to see you. Howdy, howdy. What's up, Asito? San Diego. I'm actually going to be in San Diego, not for a show. I'm just going down there to visit some family down there. What's up, Sandra? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. What's up, David? What's up, Inks Pixels? LucyandRon.com is launching soon. Hello, no gods, no managers. Hello, Cephers. Hello from England. I miss you all very dearly. What's up, Rochelle? What's up, Wesley? What's up, Andrew? What's up, Doug? What's up, R-Dub? Good to see ya. Oliver, what's going on? Balthazar, how's it going? What's up, Shannon? What's up, Ease? What's up, Jeffrey? Tim, how's it going? Howdy, Chris. Still nothing to do on my 4th day at work. That's awesome. That's a good job. What's up, Apex? I didn't skip you. I just didn't see you for some reason. Good to see you. Dan. I am having a rootin' tootin' good Thursday. Shannon, congrats on getting the internet back. That's awesome. Hope everyone's having a good morning. B-Dub, you're going to see Tool tonight. That's awesome. I hope it's a good show. What's up, Zox? What's up, Zero Divisor? What's up, Edwin? Good to see everybody. We're almost at 30, and as soon as we hit 30, we will begin. Ron, did you see them talk about war in Iran on Stephen Colbert? No, I did not. I did see that conversation Stephen Colbert had with Tulsi Gabbard, and I was pretty disappointed by it. Tool has a new album. Interesting. I heard they're great live. Guys, we are over. What's up, Dan? Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron, everybody. We are over 30. We have officially begun. So welcome to Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means people tweet me articles. They send me ideas, and that's what we talk about. We build this show together. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. And I'll announce this now. I'm going to end the show. Some of you guys said you wanted to talk about the Game of Thrones episode. Why not? Typically on Thursdays, we end with something a little lighter to end the week. Kind of soften the blow of the news of the week. It's been a rough week news-wise. It really has. It's totally been a rough week news-wise. So we are going to end with something light. We're going to end with a chat on the Game of Thrones episode. If you're not into Game of Thrones or you don't want a spoiler, because there will be spoilers, I will give everybody a chance to kind of sign off. We'll do a warning shot, so to speak, when we're going to dive into Game of Thrones. So anyone who doesn't want spoilers, we can. They fucked it up, says Wesley. We'll talk about it, Wesley. Hold tight. But that's not coming up until the end. So I will give a heads up before we dive into that, but that'll be the light topic we do to end the week. David says, Ron, I loved the bartering video. Years ago, I tried to automate circular bartering networks. Didn't work, I think, because lack of resources on my site. But your video motivated me to try again. Thanks. That's awesome, David. And I hope you will try that again, because that sounds awesome. Please do try it again. Awesome. All right. Cool. So let's dive into the news of the day. First of all, we have a follow-up, and it doesn't look like we have a good follow-up. Tim shares this. We've been following what's going on in Venezuela. The activists inside kind of gave a notice on what they wanted as far as peace goes. They said this is how we can have a peaceful resolution, and it doesn't look like that peaceful resolution happened. I just saw the headline so far, but let's see what's going on. This is breaking news, and here we go. We're going to dive into the Venezuelan embassy here. So here's the headline. This is from Mint Press News. Tim shares this. Police raid Venezuelan embassy in D.C. Arrest. Wow. Whew. You know me, I stumble over those words. Police raid Venezuelan embassy in D.C. Arrest last remaining members of Embassy Protection Collective. All right, let's see what's going on. Police have broken into the Venezuelan embassy in Washington, D.C. and arrested 4 protesters from the Embassy Protection Collective, according to Medea Benjamin, an activist from the anti-war group Code Pink. Medea Benjamin's awesome. Shout out to Medea Benjamin. Thank you for being on the ground for this. Among the 4 who were arrested during the raid are anti-war activists Kevin Zeese and Margaret Flowers. A U.S. Secret Service spokesman confirmed that it had helped Department of State's diplomatic security arrest the remaining Embassy Protection Collective protesters inside the Venezuelan embassy. This morning, here's the quote, "This morning, U.S. Secret Service Uniform Division officers assisted the U.S. Department of State Diplomatic Security Service Special Agents." Holy how long of a title do you fucking need? Jesus Christ. U.S. Secret Service Uniform Division officers assisted U.S. Department of State Diplomatic Security Service Special Agents. You almost run out of air saying that fucking title. What's their name tag look like? Does it just go like across their entire body? It just starts going this way, then just goes all the way around multiple times. You gotta walk circles around them a couple times to read all the words of their fucking title. Holy shit. What a ridiculous title. And they're doing ridiculous things. All right, let's go back to this. All right, so this morning, U.S. Secret Service Super Secret Uniform Division officers assisted the U.S. Department of State Diplomatic but not so diplomatic Security Service will mess you up Special Agent sauce in executing federal arrest warrants against individuals who were inside the Venezuelan embassy. The Secret Service, super secret, kind of secret, not really so secret, secret selective service, special forces, operatives, team strike, statement said. All right. Benjamin cited Venezuela's Deputy Foreign Minister, Carlos Ron, as denouncing the U.S. actions as a violation of the Vienna Conventions and slamming the arrest of Embassy Protection Collective members. "We call on the U.S. government to sign a protecting power agreement to ensure the integrity of our embassy in D.C. and the U.S. Embassy in Caracas. We do not authorize any of the coup representatives to enter the embassy," he was quoted as saying by the Code Pink activists. Code Pink activist reports were later confirmed by a Washington Post reporter on the scene who heard one of the protesters guarding the embassy call out a window that police are after them. The reporter spotted an ambulance approaching the embassy's garage and paramedics rolling out stretchers. So far, no injuries have been reported among the protesters. Well, that's good at least. So far, as of the recording of this, as this is breaking, no injuries have been reported. The activists from the Embassy Protection Collective have been living inside the embassy since April 10th in a bid to protect it from U.S. attempts to seize the facility and hand it over to supporters of Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido. The group was invited by the embassy's Venezuelan diplomats who were forced to leave U.S. soil. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro earlier slammed U.S. attempts to seize the property of the country's embassy, pointing to its inviolability under international treaties regulating the activities of diplomatic missions. So they went in and arrested everybody. So we talked about how they gave the 2 options yesterday, where the one option was, you let people in with food, you kind of make a treaty in Venezuela and in the United States that we have a peaceful resolution to this, that people can peacefully leave, or you just come in and arrest everybody. And they chose the latter. They came, we're just going to come in and arrest everybody. So let me check the specific date on this. So yeah, this is from today. This is from May 16th. So this is breaking. Right now this is breaking. This is probably still kind of ongoing as we speak. And so far, what little good news there is that there have been no injuries reported. Will it stay that way? We don't know. In fact, this is really breaking, so that might already not be the case anymore. But as of the recording of this, as far as we know, as far as I know, According to this article, no injuries have been reported. Hopefully it stays that way. But that's the route they took in Venezuela. All right. So let's go over to New York City. We're staying on the East Coast here. And Bill de Blasio, mayor of New York and human nap, guess what he's doing? He's running for president. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is running for president. 3/4 of New Yorkers don't want him to run for the White House. He's doing it anyway. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is running for president. De Blasio, who has been mayor since 2014, announced on Thursday that he will make a run for the White House. Joining an already crowded Democratic field, the decision ends months of speculation regarding whether de Blasio would throw his hat into the ring. Was anyone really speculating that? Was anyone really... I'm sure some people in New York when they were like, I'm hoping he doesn't, but... Was anyone really kind of like, man, I wonder when de Blasio is going to throw his... I mean, I'm so stoked. Does he have anybody on his campaign? Who... I mean, I'm sure he has staffers because he's paying them and they're like, shit, a job's a job. But would anyone voluntarily, I'm all about this guy? I mean, I think family members, that's it. And they're the family members that don't love him enough to kind of intervene and say, dude... Come on, I get it. I know Howard Schultz is doing it, so you're like, well, anyone can do this. And Donald Trump's president, so you're thinking, well, anyone would. But nobody likes you. You got a pretty mixed history here, buddy. And no one's gonna. I mean, come on, you're just. What are you trying to do, really? Well, let's find out. Let's see. As president, I will take on the wealthy and help them with their taxes. I will take on the big corporations after progressives do it first. I will take on the big corporations if progressives do it first, and then I think it's politically benefits me to do so. And I'm referring to Amazon here. First, de Blasio was all about them. Then when progressives stood up and Amazon wasn't coming anymore, then all of a sudden he changed his tune as well. The article talks about that. So he'll stand up to the big corporations as long as, grassroots activists and people with, people with no money, people with no power, people who aren't elected officials, as long as they do it first. Then he'll stand up to them because that's leadership. That's what a leader does. It's how a leader behaves. Bill de Blasio. All right. De Blasio's presidential ambitions have been the subject of some mockery among New Yorkers. Even The Onion's digging into him, by the way. The Onion, there was this headline from The Onion this morning that I saw where it just said, New Yorkers pitch in to buy billboards urging mayor not to embarrass himself by running. And the images were pretty funny. It's an Onion headline. All right, so 3/4 of whom do not believe he should run in 2020. It's your own city. If 75% of your own city that you're the mayor of is saying, don't do this, guess what? You're even less popular than Pete Buttigieg. And you should maybe not do this. But let's see here. Let's dig more into de Blasio. And they mentioned Pete Buttigieg. So according to this article, he's a complex figure in New York City politics, has a decent progressive record, and he won re-election handily in 2017, but a lot of New Yorkers, to put it plainly, don't like him. So his mayoral record includes universal pre-K and expanded sick leave. That's a good thing. This year, after Amazon, all right, so now they bring up, initially he supported Amazon, then, when the progressives were making sense, he, kind of just diverted to them. De Blasio has been in the New York City political scene for most of his career. He campaigned for former New York City Mayor David Dinkins in the late 1980s and worked in his administration. Served as regional director for the Department of Housing and Urban Development, managed Hillary Clinton's Senate campaign. So those are the circles he kind of rolls in. And one of the reasons that you see... All right, so de Blasio's... Well, let's stick with the article for a little bit here. De Blasio's signature achievements came early in his first term, and City Hall's activity and ambition have been lackluster in recent years. Crime was already dropping when he took office, and turning around the city's lowest performing schools and curbing homelessness have been major challenges for the mayor. 6 years after he campaigned on a promise of combating income inequality, public housing is falling apart, and income inequality has actually increased. Due to rampant neoliberalism that he seems relatively complacent in. So despite nobody liking him, he's destined to go for it. It's interesting who he has the ties with in the Democratic establishment. And, I think the speculation that's out there that's pretty fair is what they really want to do is they want to crowd the field. They, being the Democratic establishment, they want to crowd the field so much that it's forced to a second ballot so the superdelegates can have their way. They want it to be forced to a second ballot so the superdelegates can have their way. So the more people they have running, the better. And here's just another Democratic establishment lackey, Bill de Blasio, throwing his hat in the ring. He won't garner much support, but he'll garner a little bit. And every establishment tool helps in pushing it to that second ballot. So they can screw over Bernie and screw over Tulsi. So they can screw them over again. I mean, at this point, how can you not logically conclude that's what they're trying to do? They're trying to make sure it goes to a second ballot. Bill de Blasio, are you kidding? Why would you run? If you're complicit in the Democratic establishment, why would you run unless you thought you had a reasonable chance? If you're not complicit and you want to kind of rattle some cages, then I get it. I get why you would run. To try to shift the status quo, to try to, make your voice be heard in the debates and try to win some people. But if you're complicit in the status quo, why would you run unless you had a chance to win? You're not going to prove anything. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to accomplish anything. I mean, I guess name recognition is the only thing. You're getting a little bit of publicity. That's it. That's literally it. You're also making a fool of yourself. But you're getting a little bit of publicity. That's it. And Bill de Blasio, just another Democratic establishment lackey who they're throwing in there to make sure it goes to the second ballot so that the superdelegates can have their way, can put who they want in there. All right, 75% of New Yorkers don't like the guy. He's running anyway. He doesn't care. All right. So we got some good news here too, which is cool. But here's something. We covered what was going on in Alabama yesterday, and it's also going on in Georgia and Ohio. So here is something that a Michigan lawmaker said. This was shared with me over on the Twitter. Not sure what all's going on here. I just saw the headline, so let's dive into it. Michigan lawmaker, abortion should be painful. Ooh, that's all right. That's boy, that's a winning message there, huh? That's Do women who undergo late-term abortions suffer as much as God wants them to? Well, State Senator Kim Lasada doesn't think so. Ever since the new state legislature convened 4 months ago, Lasada and her Republican colleagues have been waiting for the chance to shove their deeply held religious convictions down the throats of Michigan's wayward women. Over weeks of hearings, they've heard physicians warn that GOP efforts to outlaw the surgical procedure commonly used to end second trimester pregnancies would make such abortions more painful and hazardous for the women who undergo them. Tuesday, when the proposed ban finally came to vote, Lasada's impatience with all of those godless medical experts finally got the better of her. Of course it should be hard, the senator from St. Joseph exclaimed. That's a beautiful area, by the way. St. Joseph is a beautiful, beautiful area, beautiful part of Lake Michigan. God, take a jog on the lake, Kim, and lighten up. Holy shit. You're in such a beautiful place and you're just so hateful. Of course it should be hard, the senator from St. Joseph exclaimed, and I'm closing the beaches too. And the procedure should be painful and you should allow God to take over and you should deliver that baby. Wow, this is, I tweeted this, but I'll repeat it. If your view is too extreme for Pat Robertson, that's not a political ideology. That's psychosis. That's absolutely psychotic. I mean, just reading this quote, she sounds like a lunatic. She totally sounds like a lunatic. Just like yesterday when we talked about that guy in Alabama who was basically literally saying, women, you're vessels, that's it, shut up. I mean, these are psychotic sentiments coming from who? Elected officials. These people are elected. And these archaic views on abortion, which is just so, it's so ridiculous. We're still there in 2019. It's so ridiculous. And I thought we had moved further. I think a lot of people did. I really thought we had moved further. When I was living in a red state, I thought we had moved further. I mean, other countries' conservatives look at this and they're like, holy shit, you guys are psychos. All right, so that's her quote. This is literally a quote. I mean, the procedure should be painful. You should allow God to take over, and you should deliver that baby. Does that sound like a person who is looking at this issue at all rationally? You know, and I'm pro-choice. I'm, you know, I have been most of my life. You know, there was one point in my life where I wasn't, because I was like 11 and I was raised Catholic, so, you know, I kind of just accepted the stuff I was taught, and they taught us abortion was wrong. And then when I learned to kind of dissect the issue and realize it wasn't a black and white issue, that it was a very complex issue, I became pro-choice and still am to this day. But I mean, you see how is that a rational? I mean, her saying this, that's like the equivalent of a pro-choice person being like, they should be able to kill the baby or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's the equivalent, where it's like, you don't sound like you're rationally discussing an issue. You sound like you're just ranting like a lunatic. So anyway, that's her quote. That's literally the quote of an elected official, state senator. Dismissing the opposition of physicians groups like the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, you know, because what do they know about women's health? You know, what would they know? We can dismiss them. They don't know anything. You know, they're only the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. We can dismiss them. Let's just listen to the Let God Take Over folks. Let's listen to them. All right. Whose representatives told legislators that banning the procedure known as dilation and evacuation would endanger patient safety. Lasada recounted her own successful efforts to abort a fetus her doctors warned her would not survive its birth. Lasada told colleagues she had delivered a stillborn baby after her own D&E procedure went awry. She cited her traumatic experience as evidence of God looking out for me. Okay. You should allow God to take over and deliver that baby, and it shouldn't be made easier for you. Wow. Okay. So those are her thoughts on the issue. I don't. Do we need to read any more quotes from her? These are people who are in office. These people like get into office. They're elected. They're elect. These are our elections, so they're pseudo elected. This does not sound like. I mean, this sounds like somebody who needs help. Like, I'm not even sure. When I say psychosis, like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I'm being literal. Like, it sounds like psychosis the way some of these people still talk about abortion. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. All right, so there you go. Lasada. Donate to her today. Wow. All right. So here's something interesting. Edwin shares this. Lilium unveils 5-seater air taxi prototype after a successful maiden flight for its latest jet. So what is this? Lilium, the Munich-based startup developing an on-demand air taxi service, has unveiled a new 5-seater prototype and is announcing to the world that a maiden flight for the new device was successfully completed earlier this month. You know what I want? I want to get one of these, and I want to be the only one that has one in all of Los Angeles, and then I can just Just fly over everybody. That's the dream. Yeah, just fly. Like, the 10's backed up. Sucks to be you. Sucks to be you. It's not the first time a Lilium jet, the company's all-electric vertical takeoff and landing device, has taken to the sky, but it is the first time the new 5-seater has taken off and landed following extensive ground testing. Lilium published a video of a 2-seater version's inaugural flight just over 2 years ago. The new 5-seater is a full-scale, lightweight prototype that is powered by 36 all-electric jet engines. So it has a speed of 300 kilometers an hour and a range of 300 kilometers. Lilium claims its jet is capable of completing a much longer journey than the majority of its competitors. This is in part thanks to the fixed-wing design of the aircraft. All right. So this company is backed by Tencent, LGT, the International Private Banking and Asset Management Group, Atomico, Lilium Series, a backer founded by Skype co-founder Niklas Zenstrom. I want to be able to Skype with people while I'm in the air. And Obvious Ventures, the early stage, all right, blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of interesting. It's all electric, which is really good. So Lilium still expects to be fully operational in various cities around the world by 2025. However, trial services will start earlier in several yet to be revealed locations. So I'm trying to see, like, is this... I mean, who are they going to get to fly these? I guess they would have to get pilots, right? I mean, it looks like they still need a pilot. Mobility as a service company akin to an Uber of the sky. An Uber of the skies, if you will. So does that mean you can just, like, anyone can just drive them? Or fly them, rather. You don't drive them, you fly them. Interesting. This is interesting. I still have a lot of questions, but this is interesting nonetheless. This is my first time hearing of this, but I guess we're going to maybe potentially have flying taxis. And it's all electric, so that's a good thing environmentally. I know they've talked about this before, and I know that there would need to be some mechanisms in place to manage, like, low-flying air traffic. How exactly you would do that, that's beyond me. I'm not involved in city planning or transportation planning at all, let alone to that extent of being in the clouds. But nonetheless, it's a pretty cool thing and something to keep an eye on. And we need extensive transportation solutions around the world. We just do. We need to get off fossil fuels. We need to just get off of them. There's no middle ground here. No middle ground here, Mr. Biden. No middle ground here, anybody. We need to get off of them. We need to phase it out. We need to. We have to. Period. So, this is one of those things. I mean, what if there was we need an extensive rail in the United States, especially. And I don't know why nobody's talking about a real plan for that. Well, Ron, it's hard to imagine. Yeah, it's hard to imagine because we don't have it. And we haven't had it for a long time, but we did have it at one point. We have the infrastructure there. We can do it. Anyway. All right. So that's interesting. We'll keep an eye on it. And, that was mostly just me kind of geeking out over technology. All right. And some frogs are returning, guys. We talk about species going away. Well, here, a species is returning, which is kind of interesting. And this is a species that got a shout out from one of my favorite authors, maybe yours too, Mark Twain. Mark Twain celebrated red-legged frogs staging a comeback in Yosemite Valley. Neat. Red-legged frogs made famous by Mark Twain are once again roaming around Yosemite Valley after a half-century absence. Ecologists this spring found clusters of eggs in meadows and ponds, proof of the first breeding by the frogs in Yosemite since 2017, when adult red-legged frogs were reintroduced after a 50-year absence, Yosemite National Park Superintendent Mike Reynolds said Monday. It's unusual to find eggs in any location, and to find them this soon is as strong of an indication that red-legged frogs are adapting successfully to the riparian areas where we reintroduced them. The California red-legged frog is named for its colorful legs and belly. It was featured in Twain's short story, The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County. The frog disappeared from Yosemite in part because non-native predatory bullfrogs, first introduced to a reflection pond, spread throughout the valley and over time gobbled them up. The insatiable bullfrogs have been eradicated from the park. Why? Is it because of that? Why have they been eradicated from the park? I mean, I guess they brought them in. Did they decide to bring them back out? I don't know the answer to that. Clearing the way for the red-legged frog's return. The amphibians were reintroduced in Yosemite National Park under a partnership with federal and state agencies, the Yosemite Conservancy and the San Francisco Zoo and Gardens, where thousands of tadpoles and adult frogs are being bred for release in the park 200 miles, 230 kilometers away. You know, I was having a conversation about zoos with a friend of mine who is a very, very dedicated vegan and animal activist. And admittedly, like, I'm not, like, I'm just being upfront here. I don't know a ton about zoos. Like I know that some are horrible, and I was always under the assumption that some are horrible, some are doing good. I don't know enough about the topic to speak as to whether or not that is the case or not. And I was asking her questions about it. I was like, so what's the deal? Like, are there some zoos that are like doing good things that actually are benefiting species? Is that happening? Is that not happening? If it is, where's it happening? If it's not, I know some zoos are terrible where these animals are like, it's absolutely horrible. I mean, you see those articles. They publish in like a study every year of the worst zoos in the world, and you see this stuff, and it might bring a tear to your eye, like it's brutal, but yeah, I'm not knowledgeable enough on the subject. I know that SeaWorld is atrocious. I know that. I remember even when I was a kid, like when I was a kid, I was brought to SeaWorld because that was back before a lot of the reports on SeaWorld had come out, so I think a lot of people just didn't know any better. My family all went to SeaWorld, and even as a kid, I was like, that doesn't look okay. That looks like a swimming pool I would swim around in, and that's a fucking whale. Like, even as a little kid, I was like, are they okay? Like, that seems bad. And, I don't know, the innocent eyes of a child were actually right in this regard. It is bad. SeaWorld's terrible. I know that. Like, I know SeaWorld's terrible. I know a lot of zoos are terrible. Are all zoos terrible? That I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, that's awesome. I just went on a tangent of, like, shit I don't really quite know about. So the program has reintroduced an estimated 4,000 California red-legged frog eggs and tadpoles and 500 zeros, man. They'll throw ya. Adult frogs, setting them free in the park's lush meadows. They're also in the Alpine Lakes and the winding Merced River. This is making me want to just go on a hike, and it's raining where I'm at today. So they're 2 to 5 inches long, and the red-legged frogs are the largest native frogs in the West and once were found throughout California. Efforts are underway to restore the species in other areas. Okay. So I guess it's a good thing when you kind of reintroduce species, especially when we're losing them. There's a picture of the frog. That is one cool-looking frog. And I don't know why, I'm not clear on why the other frogs were eradicated. I don't know if it was because they were eating those frogs and they were like, the red-legged frogs are cool. The red-legged frogs got a Mark Twain bump. The other bullfrogs, not so much. So bullfrogs, you got to go. Red-legged frogs, you're back in. Twain he really stood the test of time. He's written some really cool shit. I actually just read a Mark Twain quote book a couple months ago. I wanted a nice little road companion book. It was when we were doing our run in Florida in January. So I read a Mark Twain quote book. And you know what? One of my favorite Mark Twain quotes as of recent is, especially with everything going on in our society, if loyalty to a party is patriotism, then I am not a patriot. I am loyal to no party. I am loyal to people and ideas. That last part I added, but the quote's longer than that. But the gist of the quote: if loyalty to a political party, is the measure of a patriot, then I am no patriot. It's Mark Twain. Mark Twain said that. He knew that back then. Still applicable today. All right, so the red-legged frogs are back. Bullfrogs, outie. There you go. There's some frog news to cap it up. Guys, we are going to go to the Throne Chat. We're going to go to the Throne Chat. So, first of all, some tour dates. I'll mention some tour dates, and I'll mention the song of the day. Tour dates. May 23rd, local, Los Angeles, Ron Placone and Friends. The first Ron Placone and Friends. First one. Who's on that show, you ask? Jimmy Dore's on that show. Steph Semirano's on that show. Graham Elwood is on that show. The Dollops Gareth Reynolds is on that show. Tracy Walker's on that show. Courtney Cronin's on that show. Awesome show. I'm proud of it. If you want to go, email me at ronplacone.com. I'll put you on the guest list. If you say you heard it on the stream, I'll throw you on the guest list. That is May 23rd, Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank, 7:30 p.m. I am so stoked for it. It's my first show. I'm going to be doing a monthly residency in Flappers, and I'm stoked. And that's the first Ron Placone and Friends. East Coast, don't wait. Get your tickets now. Get your tickets now. Get them now, get them now, get them now, get them now. Graham Elwood and I are coming to the East Coast for the Progressive Comedy Tour. June 12th, we'll be in Washington, D.C. June 13th, we'll be in Baltimore, Maryland. June 14th and 15th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. June 16th, New Haven, Connecticut. June 17th, New York City. June 19th, Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, baby. Get those tickets at ronplacone.com. And July 27th, we're going to Vegas, baby. We're going back to Vegas. It'll be the first stop we hit twice on the Progressive Comedy Tour. So that's an important show for us. Get those tickets at ronplacone.com. If you want to support this show on the sustainability end, please do consider becoming a patron. For a give what you can level, you help me expand this show. I got to get a new camera. I got to get better lighting. I got to up my production value. I want to do more streams. I want to do more interviews. I really want to build this show. But I do need some help on the sustainability end to do that, and you get all kinds of exclusive content. Twice a week I post stuff that's not available anywhere else. I also post stuff when there's free tickets available to my shows, all kinds of fun stuff. Patreon.com/Ron Placone, and you get all that for a give what you can level. No matter what you give, everyone gets all the same stuff. It's total, it's all equal. Yeah, it's the utopian Patreon, if you will. Yeah. Let me see what you guys are saying. Maybe you know why they abandoned the Bullfrogs, and then we're going to do the Throne Chat. So I'll give everybody a chance that doesn't want spoilers to dismount for the week. But let me say my goodbyes to some of the people who are going to do that first. Lucy is sleeping at the moment, but if she gets up, I'll bring her over to say goodbye for the week. Ron, come to the UK and bring Lucy. Lucy would hate the plane ride, but I really want to come back to the UK, Anna. What town are you in? Let me know what town you're in. Let's see. Ocean states have a lot of insanely funny maniacs. I don't know what's that's from exactly, but I like it. Russian bot says, build a band. Hee hee. I would love to build a band. I would love to. I'm not a very good player, but I play guitar. I'm okay at it. I like to play guitar. And I like to sing. I'm not very good at it. I do it for fun. I do music as hobby. Music is hobby. Comedy is work. You know. Slow News Day recommends Twain's Letters from the Earth. So does anyone know why those other frogs were taken out of the park? Hobo Roadie, can I give you a mic pre? I don't know what that means exactly, but yeah, sure. Drop me an email at ronplacone.com. I don't know what that means. But yeah, any recommendations, I'm always listening. If anyone has any light recommendations, I know sometimes people drop in the chat and they're like, hey, I'm a lighting professional. I'm a video professional. I have some advice. I'd love it, but I don't, I sometimes miss that in the chat. So please email me. Go to ronplacone.com, email me. I would welcome that and appreciate it very much and would love to give you something in return. So cheers. Yeah. All right. Oh, so Zero Divisor is saying that they might be an invasive species. And that's, Anna, you live near Birmingham. Panic on the streets of Birmingham. Speaking of the guy who has been saying more fucked up shit lately. Morrissey managed to find his way into trouble again. I'm not going to speak on it. I haven't looked into it yet. I don't know a lot about it. I actually had a back and forth with Gordon Dimmick about it because I asked him. I was like, "What's going on here?" But anyway, and he wasn't super familiar with it either. But he gave me some info. Anyway, all right, guys. So we talked about doing a Game of Thrones segment. And so we're going to do that. Usually at the end of the week, we do something light to end the week when possible. This is going to be one of those weeks. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to end it light. And the light ending is going to be talking about the Game of Thrones episode. If you don't like Game of Thrones... Oh, shit, Edwin, you're a genius. Edwin just said, what's the song of the day? Thank you, Edwin. I almost fucked up. All right, the song of the day is... This was submitted by Art. Thank you very much, Art, for submitting this. And the artist is Lip Dub, and the song is Independence of Catalonia. Independence of Catalonia. And it is it's a Valencian ska song. Lip Dub is a Valencian ska band. They're kind of like third wave ska. I know you have to be careful when you say ska, because sometimes like big first wave ska fans, they're like, no. That kind of poppy rock punk stuff, that is not actual ska. So you got to be... They kind of have a third wave ska about them. Lip Dub, Independence of Catalonia. You can find that on YouTube. That is Lip Dub, Lipdub. Independence of Catalonia is the song. And it's Valencian ska. And it's really freaking good. I listened to it. Art tweeted it to me. So I listened to the song. And then I replied and I was just like, this song is freaking awesome. This song is so good. So that's so cool. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed the song. So please check out Lip Dub, Independence of Catalonia. All right. The people who want the Game of Thrones talk, stick around. If you don't want a Game of Thrones spoiler, stick around. Or don't stick around. Don't stick around. We will depart for the week now. Thank you very much for being part of it this week. Happy weekend. Happy weekend. You know. I'll sip water while you all make your decisions. Jinxana, goodbye. Please do tweet me some music. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Game of Thrones talk. Buckle in. We're doing it. All right. So, Game of Thrones. The episode came out. A lot of people were talking about it. And I actually enjoyed the episode. I liked it. I know a lot of people didn't. A lot of people were saying that it really screwed up the character arc. I don't agree with that. I actually enjoyed the show. Even if I didn't enjoy the show, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be signing a pledge to have them remake the episode. That's something I wouldn't do. It's a TV show. If you liked it, great. If not, life goes on. I actually liked it. So here's my perspective. And I know a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people did. It's just one of those things. It's a subjective thing. It's a judgment call. I enjoyed it. Here's why I did enjoy it. So people talked about the character arcs, and they said that it screwed up the character arcs. I don't really think that's true. So here's some of the things that people were saying, and here's kind of like my take on it. So Jaime Lannister, people were saying like, Jaime, he went back to Cersei. What the hell is he doing? He was finally coming around, and then he just threw it all to shit. Okay, so Jaime's biggest flaw from the beginning of the series and pretty much his entire life has been his undying love for his sister, Cersei Lannister. He has been loyal to her to a T, and it has cost him pretty much everything. And he recognizes that. And she has mistreated him. He had pretty much anger his entire life because he's in love with his sister, which he can't express publicly because he's in love with his sister. He also had to just passively accept the fact that she was married to Robert Baratheon for years and years. He would cheat on her all the time. Jaime had to just kind of suck it up and put up with it. He had to serve Robert. So he was very angry about that. He was very rejected because of that. And then Cersei treated him like garbage on top of it. But his loyalty to her is undying. It's still the biggest thing of his life. He realizes what she is. He knows that she's a hateful woman. She's a hateful person. She's evil. He knows that. He even said it in that one really fucked up scene where there was that rape scene underneath the corpse of their son. If you guys remember that scene, that was pretty fucked up. But the point is that they are fucked up because they're brother and sister and they're in love. And they're both very twisted. So Jaime's undying love for Cersei was the biggest thing, the biggest part of his character. And of course he reverted back to it at the end. So there you go. Let's see. Next, Cersei. People said, I can't believe Cersei died that way. I can't believe that Cersei went that way. Well, here's the thing with Cersei. What was Cersei's biggest issue? The biggest issue with Cersei was her love for her children. That was her one redeeming quality. Cersei's undying love for her children. At the very end, as they were about to get, blasted by the dragon, Cersei's last words were, I don't want my child to die. The one redeeming quality. Cersei was evil, but her one redeeming quality was her undying love for her children. And at the very end, she lost yet another child, which brought that wish's prophecy to fruition. When she told Cersei, you're going to lose all your children. Well, Cersei did. Literally all of them. Even the one that was still in her belly. And what was Jaime's response to Cersei when she said that? Nothing matters except for us. Because again, the biggest thing driving Jaime, even though he'll have those moments of clarity where he'll try to deviate it, but at the end of the day, his undying love for Cersei is all he has. And it's caused him to do terrible, terrible, evil things. And if he could have broken out of that, he probably could have been a decent human. But he couldn't. And it caused his demise. Arya. People said, Arya, she wouldn't have backed down. She wouldn't have backed down. Like, Arya is this courageous warrior. Now, all of a sudden, she's backing down. She didn't go get Cersei. Arya is a fantastic warrior and has proved that many times over. But no matter how talented of a no-faced man Arya is, she's not going to survive a falling castle and a dragon. She's not going to survive that. So she had a moment of clarity where she realized, yeah, we're going to our death. We're going to die. That's what's going to happen here. We're going to die. And she realized that she wasn't the Hound. She wasn't consumed by hatred and revenge like the Hound was. The Hound knew he was going to die. And he wanted the only thing he cared about, which was revenge against his brother. And he got it. And that was kind of an epic fight scene. So Arya, that totally made sense. So Jon Snow. People say, Jon Snow. Why did Jon Snow... Like, Jon Snow passively accepted Daenerys and all these terrible things happened. Jon Snow, why wasn't he stronger on this? Okay, Jon Snow, every leadership position Jon Snow has gotten, he's accepted reluctantly. This is no different. Now they want him to be king. He's like, holy fuck, what more do you want from me? I'm leading the North. I led the wildlings. I got this unity that nobody thought was possible. I led the what's the black? Oh man, I'm drawing a blank now. What are they called? What are they? Wow, the black. Someone help me. I just had a black. The people of the black. Like, what are they? Night Watch. Wow. Oh, wow. Total brain fart. Okay. He led the Night's Watch. He begrudgingly led the Night's Watch. He did all those things. Now they want him to be king. He's just like, holy shit, I'm not doing that. So he couldn't take it. Like, he wanted to just divert to her. So he pledged his loyalty to her. And when the fight scene did broke out, if you notice, Jon Snow was trying to stop it. Grey Worm went nuts, and we'll get into that later. Grey Worm went nuts and started just killing people. Jon Snow was trying to stop it, which is something Jon Snow would do. But what ended up happening to Jon Snow? Well, he got attacked, so he had to defend himself, so then all bets were off. Jon Snow didn't attack that person. That person attacked Jon Snow. So there you go. So Jon Snow also totally makes sense. Dany, Daenerys Targaryen. That's been common for a long time. She's always had a temper. That's a Targaryen thing. They are known for that. They are notorious for that because they are the people of the dragon. They got the dragon inside of them. They got that rage. Every time a Targaryen is born, you flip a coin. That's what Varys said. Daenerys had that potential from the beginning, and she finally saw it through. And it caused Grey Worm to go nuts too. Why did Grey Worm go nuts? Because Missandei's dead. Think about everything that Dany lost. Dany lost 2 of her children via the dragons. So she had to tolerate that. She was grieving with another dragon loss. While she was grieving with that loss, Varys betrayed her. Tyrion let her down. Jon Snow let her down. Missandei was executed. So she lost all these things all in a row. If any time she had the potential to go nuts and do something that evil, that was the time. And that's what she did. So there you go. So that's my take on Game of Thrones. It's a show. I kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't what I would have predicted. Could they have gone a different direction with it? Of course they could have. But they didn't. And I actually enjoyed the episode. It's a fun series. I'm having fun with it. I know some people don't like it. Some people do. But that's my take on it. And I know a lot of people didn't enjoy the episode. So I thought I'd give a perspective of someone that did and why I did. So there you go. Game of Thrones chat. Game of Thrones. You guys are awesome. You guys are really awesome. That concludes our show for the week. Already talked about the tour dates. Already talked about everything else. This has been Get Your News On with Ron. Consider the news gotten. That doesn't even make sense. Lucy says meow. I say peace. I'll see you guys next week on Monday. Same time, same channel. 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. We got a Music Monday coming up. I'll see you then. Have a great weekend. Peace.